Hello and welcome to the Salesforce Posse podcast. And on today's show, we have Amanda Beard-Neilson, who is a portfolio manager at Capgemini and also a co-organizer with myself at London's Calling, and also still a community group leader at London Salesforce Admins, which is cool. And we're here to talk about delivering successful projects. So hello, Amanda.
Hey, Francis, how are you doing? Long time no speak.
Yeah, long time. Well, a couple of weeks.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I've known Amanda for so long. It's how long's it been?
Years. Just years. Yeah,
just
long time.
Yeah. Anyway, we're here to talk about successful projects because you have been in the Salesforce ecosystem for many years, working with creating successful projects. So do you want to kind of talk about how you got started and, and what successful projects look like in your view?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I discovered Salesforce back in 2007, so a long time ago. And I started, like many people, as an accidental admin. Now, when you first literally discover Salesforce and you are implementing Salesforce, you may not realize that actually you're on a project and here you are delivering and then things happen. But when you go into this sort of accidental path, you don't realize that there are certain stages and there are certain things that you must do and learn until maybe afterwards when you've just gone, oh my God, it's live. What happens next? And you then start looking after the actual org that you've helped to build. So I went through exactly that same path. I've learnt the hard way lots and lots of times. And I've moved on from being...
all the mistakes.
All the mistakes. I've done all the mistakes, all the horrible things. Oh my God. Yes, that's confessions another time.
Yeah.
But from then, I've kind of moved on from being, said, accidental admin into more project-related roles and actually found my sort of path as being a project manager and being a project lead. And so, and a lot of admins have such that beauty of path options whereby you could go into maybe developer options, or being product managers, being BAs, project leads. There's so much opportunity for a starting point for careers. And also, even if you go into one other path, you can go to another path as well. I think that's the beauty of Salesforce. It's so open. So, and
also it's cross-industry, so
yes.
You can jump industries as well, and yes, it's so much variety. It's great.
It is, and it's so open and brilliant like that as well. And I've certainly worked across many different types of industries, delivering lots of different types of projects, mostly Salesforce related as well. So I think it's massive, and I do hope that it keeps going because it's a brilliant option for a lot of people.
It's such a market leader. I'm sure it's going to be around for a long time to come.
I hope so. Anyway, so people start on their careers, they don't know what they're doing, they don't know what their options are. But anyone who is anything to do with Salesforce is generally working on a project. Even if they may not be the project lead, they are a key person of a core team that's going to be delivering something. And so if you can understand what your role is, what you are then doing to enable that go live, and what does that go live look like, and how do you then work with your stakeholders, what do your stakeholders need, the whole customer piece as well, that's really important. And I think But
isn't that the realms of the project manager and the, Scrum Master, if you've got a Scrum Master on the team?
I think it's...
why is that responsibility of the admin, for example?
I think it's responsibility of every member on that project team, because everything that you do, you're doing it for your ultimate customer. You're doing it to deliver something. If you don't take that responsibility yourself, then there's an element of, well, are you part of a high-performing team? There's this whole element of high-performing teams where everybody knows what is their role, what are they doing, how do they help to deliver that? And sometimes that's helping each other and supporting each other as your team member to actually deliver what you're meant to be delivering, to work with your client so that you deliver what the client is expecting, and also helping those client expectations as well, because sometimes those clients will ask for a moon on a stick, and is that really reasonable?
We've all been there, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I really want the moon. Well, I can give you the stick. So, how would you like to start?
And there's there's a lot of benefit from that kind of agile approach anyway. So they learn as they go. The Salesforce platform as well, so they can see actually the benefits early on, and their views change as they go along in the project, and their requirements change.
Oh my word! I mean, we all go on this whole change curve with the project. Everybody, and I really do mean everybody. Even the project team will go on that change curve, because you start off with this sort of bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, like, "Yay, project, let's go!" And then you meet the client, and then they're like, "We want all this." You're like, "Oh crap! How are we going to deliver this?" And so, as a team, you go on a journey, and as a client, you go on the journey. But you're at different stages of that journey as well, and you've got to help bring your client with you, because they're learning, and everybody learns as well when they're on a project, because I suppose that's the beauty of Salesforce delivery as well. Even though Salesforce is this massive platform, and there are standard objects that you can work with, clients will use those things slightly differently, because their cases will always be that just slightly different. So you learn each time, which is great. So no project, every project is the same, and every project is not. Does that make sense? And
you're constantly learning the best practice and lessons learned as you go as well, aren't you? So I remember when I started, I probably made every mistake in the book, but you learn from it as you go along, and you learn from each other. And if you've got that great team and people to support you, then it's amazing what you can accomplish.
You do, and you grow as well, because unfortunately people tend to learn because of the mistakes they've made, and that becomes the hardest lessons. But it's a lesson that you just go, never doing that again, and you move forward, and it becomes something really ingrained in you. And I've learned, I've made mistakes, I've learned from those mistakes, I've moved on with those, and you grow with that, and you start to understand where you sit, I suppose, in a project, and how you can deliver things, and where your skills are based, and what's good. I mean, I moved away from being an admin because actually me sitting still, the irony, this is what we do nowadays, sitting still for so long, it wasn't what I could do very well. I like to chat, and so you find your strengths, and you go with that, Sitting quiet, when you're developing.
So when you're working on projects, what do you see as the typical mistakes that people make on projects?
Where do you want to start? Everywhere. There are potential pitfalls at every step of the way. There really are. I mean, and it really can start with the client turning around going, "I want to deliver this," and it depends on whether you are aware of what you're doing, or whether you are whether you sell the correct solution potential to the client. Because it can, even at that right at the beginning stage, it can break a project, because you could turn around and someone says, "It's going to be a fixed cost, fixed scope, fixed price, here you go," and the client's expectations haven't been met, and so they suddenly ask for the moon on the stick again, and therefore you are beholden to delivering that moon. But you can't, because you don't have the resource, you don't have the time, you certainly don't have the cash to deliver it. So someone's going to fail. Ultimately, when you're delivering successful projects, everyone wants to coming out feeling okay about it, that you've delivered something well, the customer's going to be using it, the customer's happy. If it becomes a very one-way system, that the customer's going to be happy because they've got everything, but in order to deliver that, the consultant or the internal team that are delivering it are broken, then that's not a great success, is it? So pitfalls can start right from the beginning and all the way through. And this is where, I suppose, understanding what projects are like and how projects run, you can help to avoid those, and at least have a much smoother journey through those project delivery stages.
Yeah, and I think I saw you. I think it was in a post you wrote somewhere. We said that the success of the project is everybody's responsibility, and managing that project, which I kind of really resonated with me. But also, you've actually created a new online training course on successful projects and creating successful projects. And one of the things I saw you mentioned is about a trusted advisor. Can you tell a bit more about what that means?
Yeah, definitely. There's elements of stages whereby when you work with a client, I could be anyone literally coming in. And so there's these levels. And as you work with the client, as you start going through these different phases, you go from sort of just being, "Hey, I'm just here and I'm just giving you some advice," and whether the client then physically trusts you with that advice. Right. And as you grow with the customer, and as you start to deliver, your currency with that customer grows up to that point of trusted advisor, whereby you are somebody that they will be first point of call to, that you are working in partnership with that client, that the client will go, well, I'm looking to do this next. What do you think? What about my roadmap? Can you help me with this as well? So you are there at every single point now helping them, because you might have helped to build them a center of excellence. You might have helped to build up their teams or to deliver that first implementation. And now you're working together because they realize that actually, yes, this partner can deliver. Yes, this partner knows what my business is and actually can suggest what's best for my business to move forward with the technology that I'm working with.
Okay, cool. Sounds really cool. So this new course that you've created on delivering successful projects, I had taken a look at it, and it's a really fab course. But could you kind of just give an idea of what the course is all about?
Yes, and I look through all the years that I've been delivering projects, all the pain of those projects. And I suppose I've been sort of writing this stuff down.
Because you were at Blue Wolf, weren't you, as a project manager? You were
Make Positive, and now at Cap.
I have different consultancies and everything.
Yeah, it's been consultancy side. I've also been on client side as well, and I've looked after the whole departments for business systems as well, and multiple orgs in other places as well. So I've seen it from both angles, all the angles, and I've also been a contractor too. So I've taken this very much as holistic view of what a project looks like to be delivered for both the consultancy side and the client side as well, and just looked at all the different stages, from initial sort of sales parts as well, from, what is the customer looking for? What is the consultancy going to offer here? That initial piece, to then going through that handover, the start of the capturing requirements or workshops. Have we actually got this information correct? To going through a build phase, and the whole implementation. Now, the implementation piece is looking at, well, what are you building? What tools are you needing? What people you're working with, the idea of sort of the behaviors as well, and stakeholders, how do you involve them? As a project manager, I'd be looking at sort of what communications are going out there, what my RAID log, which is all about risks and assumptions and issues and dependencies, capturing all this all the way through as well. I was also be thinking about the testing cycles, any training delivery. So this is all part of this implementation piece, and deployments as well, because we all know that Salesforce isn't just a click of a button, unfortunately, and there are things you might need to consider, and also when you might want to do that. Then comes the post-implementation piece as well. So there's, like adoption, and also what happens next, because the beauty of Salesforce is that it's like a gateway drug to new implementations, because people start using it, and then they go, I want more. And you start again.
I can do this now.
Yes, and so that's it, and off you go again. Yeah. So it's looking at that whole journey.
And being successful at every step in the way.
Trying not to fail, that's for sure.
And fail fast if you do.
Exactly. And get back on track again and keep going again. So the course that I put together is looking at all those different stages and just providing my advice, the stuff that I've learned, to go, you might want to think about this, you might want to do that. I did Prince 2 a million years ago and never really used it, but kind of used it as a governance tool now, because the world kind of switched to this idea of agile, and the reality is that no one's doing any of all of it. They're just doing little bits and pieces of it, and so it's kind of wagile or watergile or whatever you want to do.
Fragile.
Exactly. It's everyone's doing a little sort of blend of stuff, and I think actually when it comes to delivering Salesforce, blends can work. So don't knock it. But
absolutely.
The course that I've put together is mainly have a read and actually dip into it, because I don't think everyone will be able to pick everything and do everything all at the same time, but it's there as sort of tips of going, have you thought about this? Maybe think about that. This is what I would do here. And even I learned for myself. And even when I was putting the course together, I was like, God, I should do this. Yeah, I should do more of this sort of stuff. So, I keep remembering things and keep learning stuff as well. I should take my own course, just to remind myself, keep going.
Yeah, absolutely. And what's the lot? Yeah, so it's on Udemy, There is a discount for it, so if you do want to kind of sign up for it, it is a fab course. If you head to admin2architect.com/project success, it'll dive over to Amanda's course. And the beauty with Udemy is once you've bought it, you've got it forever. And of course, you know, it can be updated regularly as well by Amanda, so you get the latest info, which is kind of cool. So a fab course. Do you have anything else to say, Amanda? Because it's been fab.
Well, thank you very much, Francis, for inviting me. It's nice to chat as well. And I would say that, you know, we have this whole admin to architect range, and anyone who's delivering or any part of a project, I'd say this course will resonate for you as well, because it's a learning curve, and we all deliver, we all work on projects, even the smallest things, and being aware of all the different project stages and how you as a team member, irrespective of your role, how you can help to influence that, to think about how you can deliver a successful Salesforce project, then it will become much more successful and much smoother in that delivery.
I think it's even if it's kind of like you can spot the things that you're not doing that you can kind of bring up with the team and go, well, maybe we should be doing a RACI, maybe we should kind of be thinking, you know, to make it even more successful, which I think is definitely important. So.
Yeah. They can be small tweaks. You don't have to try and build all of it. Just little changes can help, really can help.
And that's what I quite like about your course, actually, because it's very structured and you can literally jump in, see the RACI video, watch it. Yeah, with that kind of benefit, you know, what's more important for you to implement right now?
Yeah.
And, you know, it's there for reference.
Yeah, about 40 odd chapters, easy bite-sized pieces, because let's face it, our attention span has shrunk just a bit.
Absolutely. Awesome. Well, thanks so much, Amanda, for being on the show today. I hope everybody found it useful. Be sure to check the link out at admin2architect.com/project success to find out loads more. Thanks a lot, Amanda.
Thanks, Francis.
Cool. See ya.